Hi guys, I'm Rollstar, and as you've probably noticed, this channel was intended for story writing, but I haven't done a story writing video in over a year, about 15 months. I did not lose interest in the story, but I lost interest in story writing. So if you watch my old videos, you'll know it was just story writing. There was no audio, no video. There were a couple pictures, but not much. And not many people viewed the videos or really enjoyed the videos, and I don't blame them because, to be honest, if there used to be this channel I watched, it's been deleted now, where it did basically storytelling videos, joke telling videos. I only watched the ones with audio because I couldn't be bothered to read, so I don't blame a lot of people. But that was all I could really do at the time. However, now I'm thinking, because there's basically three things. There's text, audio, and video. I can't do video. I would love to be able to animate this, but I can't do that yet. But I can now maybe move up a level and make it audio, and that might make more people want to watch, because then you don't have to read and you don't have to worry about the text, being on not being on screen long enough, or having to spend loads of time reading, because audio is just easy. So my question is, should I switch from story writing to podcast and go back to the start and do this whole story again? Because honestly, like I said a minute ago, I did not lose interest in the story. It was just story writing I lost interest in, but I certainly did not lose interest in the story. So much so that I've changed it up so much that it would be recognizable to viewers as uh, being the same story that had been written on this channel, but I've added so many different details, a couple new characters, stuff like that, that it would be impossible to resume just story writing like nothing had happened the past year, even if I wanted to. So because of that, like I said, there's text, audio, and video is the best, but I can't really animate this right now. But my hope is, so I started off as a story writer, now I can change to being a podcaster, which is an upgrade, and then maybe one day, in a couple more years, then I will be able to animate it, hopefully. Not in Gacha though. I don't really, if I'm being honest, I don't really have the patience for Gacha, but maybe Go Anime or Beyond if there's still an option then, or maybe I'll find another. No, I will, if there is one, I'll find another animated site for making animated videos, and then I will do the entire story animated, and then maybe, hopefully, I would love it if one day in 8, 9, or 10 years I was able to make the story of Moral Star into a TV show, though obviously I wouldn't call it that. I would think of a better name. I'll have to think of a better name for my podcast as well. But so I would record them on Anchor and post them to Anchor, and then also post them to YouTube. And I would either create a new channel called Moral Star Podcast, or I would change this channel's name to Moral Star Podcast and private my old videos that were the story writing version, because there's no point in really reading them anymore if I've changed it that much, because I have changed it quite a bit. And this time, rather than it being so repetitive over and over again and doing a story for every single character, which looking back in hindsight was pretty stupid, we'll just start right from the start like any normal person who was writing this story would, and then we'll just continue right up until the end, which is pretty much actually where I started. No, yes, that is where I started. I pretty much started at the end, because this story, the way I think of it, has always, even when I was writing this channel, always been really long. It's always been a family saga story. It started actually in the 1920s and lasted for I'm saying three and a half generations, until we got to this generation that I write about now. This was the third generation, not the first. So I don't know why. I think I was just more interested in that particular part of the story that I'm creating at the time I created this, but now I'm not as much. I mean, still interested in it, obviously, but I've paid more attention to the other bits of the story now that I should have included here. So you would start right from the start and then just work up to the end, which would be a pretty long story in podcast, but in podcast it would be more interesting. And then, as I said, in about 3 years I'll animate it and I'll have changed it up even more, and then hopefully I'll make it into a TV show, And I'll have changed it up even more, knowing me. I don't know what I'll have changed, but I know I'll have changed something. So, uh, for all the reasons I've said in this video, I think it's a good idea to move away from story writing now. Pretty sad, but it's best. And switch to podcast, because podcast, it seems like it's easier for me. I mean, initially I was very nervous to switch to podcast because speaking in front of a camera and speaking to a microphone are very different things. It made me nervous, but even just practicing this video has given me more confidence. So I feel like I'm ready to take this step now. So I hope you guys don't mind. I hope you guys think this is a good idea too, and hopefully you'll like it as well. Obviously, this the background you're looking at right now when you're listening to me is from Google Images. So obviously I'll create my own background, and um yeah, that's about it. I'm both nervous and excited to make this change, and I hope you guys are alright with it. I hope it suits you guys, because I feel like it's probably best for my audience and for me to make the switch now.